Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me, back by popular demand, you all asked for it, it's my dad, Jim.
Be careful what you ask for, you might get it.
He's back.
Yeah.
So
you know that old saying, it could always get worse?
Yeah.
It usually does when you say that.
But it could get worse.
Yeah, it could get worse.
It could be worse.
Anyway.
So we're sitting here in the back room at Cigar Haven in Fishers, Indiana, and we met
Rod, R-O-D, Rod.
We met Rod. He's the manager here at Cigar Haven, and he was nice enough to give us a couple of cigars that he wanted us to try. He specifically said, I want you guys to try these. And it's the Gran Habano Corojo No. 5 Maduro, and he didn't want me to know anything about the cigar. He said, I want you to try it, smoke it, and then he would tell me about it. So we're going to do that. So it's time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And guys, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for the cigar smoker in your life, or if you are the cigar smoker in your life and you want to play some hints with somebody, tell them to head on over to Dan the Man Ponder there at Riverman Cigar Company. He's got all kinds of great cigars and accessories and gifts and whatnot in some packs, some nice gift packs. And then the beauty of it is, if let's say your significant other doesn't want to actually go to the shop because maybe you don't live local, maybe they don't like going into the cigar shop for whatever reason, but they still want to support what you like, you can do mail order. So just give them a call and they'll ship it to you right away. That's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. And with that, it's time we go ahead and cut the cigar. Here we go.
I already did.
You did. I noticed. You prematurely cut.
I used my little clippy thing you brought me the other day.
Little clippy thing?
Yeah, the little Zycar.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I forgot. And we'll give that a cut, and now we're moving on. I got my email from Calibri that they have their Black Friday sale going on. So if anybody's looking for a Calibri SV cutter like I have, I think they're on sale for like 60-something bucks. It's like 25% off.
Good deal. So do you go out and shop on Black Friday?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I used to do more of that, but it's just, yeah. You can get it all online now for, pretty much the same price, and you don't have to leave the house. And to be honest, I've also kind of been a lot more like less is more kind of mentality the last little bit. So I don't need all this stuff.
I don't like going in stores anymore.
I understand that.
I'm at the point where it's like I don't even want to leave the house. Put me in a store. We'll go someplace and I'll wait in a car. There's nothing in there I need to put up with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I get that.
So you're not going to be getting anything from me that was bought on Black Friday.
That's okay.
I'm just giving you that message now.
Okay.
I know you have high expectations, but no.
No, I mean, whatever. All the stuff, and that's the other thing. The stuff I need, they don't put on sale.
That's by purpose.
Yeah. It's like I don't need junk. I need the stuff I need. It never goes on sale. So it's like, it's fine. But cold draw time. You just say cold draw. There's like, I don't know.
You're lost on me for flavor. I told you that last time I was on the
right, not at all. You can't not picking up any sort of flavor note whatsoever. If you're
tobacco.
Okay.
No.
It's like a slight dried like tart cherry. There's like a little tart cherry to it.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I also get self-conscious about that. I'm like, am I making this shit up or is it actually true?
You're making this shit up.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You know that.
I don't think so. Sometimes. No. Mr. Jonathan flat out said right here on the Cigar Pulpit that I have a good palate. So, and he's the one coming up with really weird shit. So, I don't know.
I want to know what kind of a person would name their child Mister. I mean, yeah.
I think it's more of just the pretentiousness of, demanding that people call you Mister. I mean,
it's like calling him Duke or Sir.
I guess
I
could go,
Mister.
Mr. Nick just doesn't sound
Mr.
right, though.
Yeah, don't go there.
No. I think you need the longer multi-syllable name to go along with it. I don't think it works well with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Mr. Jonathan. He's a Renaissance man. I actually enjoy listening to him.
He is a hoot. So, I have a little... Come on. There we go. All right. I think we're cooking now.
It's nice.
I was say it's a little smokestack off the front. Trying to just kind of keep it going there. I'm a little paranoid. It seemed like it wanted to slightly go out there in the very beginning, but it's doing all right now.
Good.
Anyway, so yes, since you've been on, we've had multiple people make requests for you to come back. They for various reasons.
Mostly because they're nuts.
One caller specifically said that he thinks you need to do a curmudgeon segment, detailing what you're curmudgeonly about this time.
You damn kids, get off my yard.
Exactly, that sort of thing. We had one listener specifically say that we need to do an Ask the Boys episode with you and Mr. Jonathan. So, since you like Mr. Jonathan so much, I may have to try and arrange that at some point.
That could be interesting.
Uh-huh. But, yeah.
All right.
That's where we're at. So in terms of, we're coming into Thanksgiving. This episode is dropping, 2 days before Thanksgiving? So, we're coming into Thanksgiving here. People have a lot of family coming into town. You have to deal with family in the house and that sort of thing. Not just me. I mean, I'm talking the people that have
family,
big families that come in, and it's a whole giant ordeal. I don't know. Do you have any holiday, pet peeves that we need to address?
Why do I feel like you're teeing me up?
I'm not teeing you up. I'm trying to tee you up slightly, but I don't know.
No, it's like you and I were speaking the other day. If you look at our family,
yeah,
all right, my family tree. Obviously, my parents are both gone. All right. If you look at myself, my siblings with spouses, and out of my 3 siblings, one of them have children, the other 2 don't. You look at those children and then their kids, so you go from the family tree to you and your brother and
that generated.
Correct. I think I tallied up. There's only 26 of us.
So we're not a big crew, just in general.
My whole genetic line could be dead in a bus crash if we ever go someplace like that. And it's sad. I say that tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
It's sad when you look at that. You're going, well, shit. We could get the whole family together in one room, about this size. Not a big room.
I would say we wouldn't need to rent a giant hall.
You're right.
Yeah.
The other thing too is we're spread out.
Yes.
Just enough.
Just enough that it makes it difficult.
And just enough that the family is fine.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you have family too close, it's too close.
There's some truth to that.
Family shares too much. And sometimes, as they say, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family or whatever. Pick your nose. I don't know. But I think sometimes family infringes a little bit more where they shouldn't, and just step back a bit. Well, our family's been good at that.
Yeah.
I don't know half the stuff about had 2 of my siblings. I'm very close to my oldest brother, but I don't care. They don't need to know my business. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes you force families together for holidays, and it causes more problems than it ought to.
Well, yeah, that's where you get the stereotype of, don't talk about politics at the dinner table. Don't talk about, blah, 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 and all that. And that's exactly it. You get everybody together, and suddenly you have fights and this and that and whatever.
It's my humble belief. Holidays are for children.
Okay.
And I think we're losing that. All right. as you've gotten older, do you care so much about Christmas? You putting a tree up this year? You going to decorate the place?
Oh, God, I haven't put a tree up since I moved out.
We had that debate the other day. Do we want to put a tree up?
No.
And my reply was, why? I mean, first of all, we're going on
I have a wreath on my door.
Well, so do we. You've
about it.
You've
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah.
You saw it the other day. We're going to be gone for a period of time in December. And you say, okay, well, you put a tree up, then in 3 weeks you got to take the damn thing down.
Yeah.
Well, there comes a point where you're going, okay, it's not worth it. If there were little kids, you know, if Max.
Oh, well, yeah.
If you were bringing Max up, you bet your ass there'd be a tree up. There'd be shit all over the house.
Yeah.
And Max would walk in and he would be happy. All right. So holidays, in particular Christmas, it's for little kids.
Yeah.
All right. And the reason being is because you want to transfer to them so that they continue that feeling as they get older and they pass it to the little kids. Holidays are for little kids. The magic of Santa Claus. Let the kid find out on his own. Don't destroy it for him. All right. Same thing with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is where little kids get exposed to their family. They may meet family members they haven't seen for months or years or ever.
Yeah.
If they're, you know, whatever. So adults get together and fights start and disagreements. You know, this whole, and you're right, the whole thing about politics. God, don't talk about politics.
Don't talk about the
You can come over, but don't even mention Mr. Magoo. And fortunately for us, 3 out of 4 of us all fall on that same line.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we know who we're talking about.
I know.
So the adults get together and they kind of quibble on meaningless crap and opinions are shared. And the little kids are just happy to see the other little kids, and the little kids are just happy to see that they have a family and little kids are treated.
Yeah.
Holidays are for little kids. Same thing for Easter. All right? You get up, you go to church. Little kids get the Easter stuff.
Yeah, the baskets and the egg hunts and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So to get back to the point is, fortunately or unfortunately, geographically, we're just dispersed enough that we don't feel that forced effort of having to get together because of the holiday. So, no, we'll have a small turkey. Janet and I, you know, she bought a little one for like $125 now. And it's like $15 or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but, you know, we'll make turkey.
It's the same place she got the gelatos, the little
right?
mini gelatos.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can't remember that third flavor, right?
It was pumpkin spice.
Yeah, pumpkin spice. Oh, yeah, right. Pumpkin spice. It was a good idea for 1 year. Move on. So we'll have dinner. The best part of turkey are the leftover sandwiches.
Oh, I've seen all kinds of creative stuff with the leftovers this year. People are getting good on in the Instagram reels and things like that. I saw some guy had made sushi, and they took technically it was chicken skin from like a rotisserie.
Is it sushi?
Well,
no, come on.
But they did that, and then they laid out stuffing. Yeah, stuffing.
Right.
Mashed potato and gravy and cranberry, and then they rolled it and they cut it into little rolls. You know, like a sushi roll. And then
that sounds good, but that's not sushi.
Well, it's a sushi-ish kind of thing.
Sushi is like raw stuff.
It's the premise. But
and you don't want raw turkey.
Then the other one I saw that was really kind of neat, and I actually liked this one better. They took a tortilla, and they kind of just hit it with a little bit of like butter.
Right.
Just something to make something stick. Put it in breadcrumbs, and then they put it on a wire rack, put it in the oven to crisp it up. So they made like a taco shell, out of this. And then in the taco shell, that's when they put the leftover turkey and the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the cranberry, and they made the Thanksgiving tacos. That looked tasty.
That's smart.
That looked tasty.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
But it's the leftovers, I think, is where the value of the turkey is.
But if you're only getting like a little turkey thing,
there's
then
plenty of leftovers.
Okay. I was going to say.
Yeah. It's not a big meal.
I could put a hurting on a bird.
Yeah, well. I have many times.
I do like the Thanksgiving.
That's the other thing.
And that's
like,
my.
Who cares?
I've said it on the show already, and I'll say it again. That's why I like Christmas more, or Thanksgiving more than Christmas. It's like you get all the trappings of everything at Thanksgiving, but you don't have to worry about the gift giving. There's no gift giving commitment whatsoever with Thanksgiving. And,
what I like?
Appreciate that.
And you know this. You know what I like about Thanksgiving? It's 3 letters. Starts with P.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You are a pie connoisseur.
I love pie. I love 2 kinds of pie.
Okay.
Pie with ice cream and pie without ice cream.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say like hot pie, cold pie.
No, I don't give a shit. Just pie.
Okay.
It's like I've told you in the past, is anybody can make a cake. Go buy a box. Right? You don't go buy a box and make a pie. You can buy a shell, but you still got to. Anybody can make a cake. Idiots make cakes. And pies are special. You know, when you get a pie, you're going, "Damn, this is all right."
Okay.
I recall you were recently in Casey, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And you went to this weird little place out in the middle of friggin' nowhere.
Oil Field Cafe.
And there are actually oil fields in that area.
Uh-huh.
And it smells like oil there, right?
Uh-huh.
And you said, the burger was good, but they had pie.
But the pie was really good.
Right?
Yep.
Pie is a special thing. Here's the other, and this is and this is an unofficial study that I've done just by conversating with buddies and guys. Guys like pie, girls like cake. That's why you have a wedding cake. Because the bride picks the damn thing. If you leave it up to the guy, there's going to be like pie. Wedding pie everywhere.
That's valid.
Anytime you can get a pie, it's special. And that's the only really good reason for Thanksgiving. Because you can get turkey any time of year.
Yeah, but
pie.
There's something about that Thanksgiving turkey, though.
Nah.
I don't know.
So do you watch football? You kill the day watching games on TV?
I'll have it on because there's usually nothing else on, but... Yeah.
You won't find football on TV.
This year, the high school that I cover for my newspaper, they're marching in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So, I'll probably scope that out. And
where I live in Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. We're coming to you now.
We're alive. Fishers High School is in the parade.
Are they really?
I learned that this morning. Yeah, they're all rehearsing and all stuff. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we both have a reason to watch.
No, the O'Fallon kids, they've been traveling, and I think the first round of them just made it to New York today. So,
there you go.
Yep. So
yeah.
Well, very cool.
So, yeah, there will be no football. I'll have the parade. I always watch the parade just because. And pie.
You're not watching the Colts?
Why? Okay.
Let's go there.
All right. Unlike your buddy, what's it? Mike Brinker.
Yeah.
The NFL lost me many years ago. For multiple reasons. I moved, originally from where you live, St. Louis. When I was a kid, St. Louis, man, Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hart, who, by the way, is a graduate of Carbondale, SIU in Carbondale, where you and I both went.
Yep.
I was a Cardinals fan when I was a kid growing up. Green Bay Packers, man. Bart Starr was it.
Okay.
He was my hero. I was a Packer backer back when I was a kid. Not a fudge packer, backer. All right. And I never, and when the Cardinals moved from St. Louis, it's like, good riddance. I don't care. You want to fill the stadium, remove 3/4 of the seats. That's the way it was back then. Moving here to Indy, and I got here just about the time the Peyton Manning era started.
Okay.
I got to meet Peyton Manning at a golf outing. He was just a wonderful young man at the time, very generous with his time. And it was fun then because you knew you had a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Peyton Manning made this city football.
Yeah.
In my mind, anyway. Then, and the whole thing with him going to Denver, I understand all that. Then we had Andrew Luck come in. And, boy, he was it.
Yeah.
But he didn't have an offensive line. He had his bell rung too many times.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what I would do.
Hey, gave it up. Yeah.
Screw you guys. I'm tired of getting hurt.
Yeah.
If you don't want to give me an offensive line, I quit.
Yeah.
God love the kid. I mean, he was hurt more than he should have been.
Yeah.
Anybody should have been. And we've been shit since.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in an old guy, you bring this guy, you bring in this guy. We drafted this kid this year, and he had a history of injuries, and we drafted him anyway. Well, shit, he's out with surgery now. He's not done. He won't be back the rest of the year.
Yeah.
The backup quarterback's doing a phenomenal job, I think, but he's not getting the credit and the glory. We're all worried about Anthony Richardson. Well, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
And the Colts, we're building. Well, how many eras can you build until you realize we suck? We're never going to win a Super Bowl again. And why bother watching?
That's fair.
We had a good week this past weekend.
Yeah.
It was a bye week. But that's the premise of this thing is it's like it's the Colts. And everybody rallies around and they'll go, we're rebuilding. And I feel it's sad for the fans. It's a pathetic product right now. And I stem it all back to Ballard, who's the general manager. Jim Irsay, Boy, that could be a whole show. He just bought Eric Clapton's guitar at an auction for like 1.2 something million.
Was it you telling me about him and his guitars?
Oh my God, this guy!
Somebody was telling me about him and his guitar collection.
You can Google it.
Like
The Jim
immense.
All your listeners, Jim Irsay collection. Look it up on Google. This guy has got the preeminent number one. Absolutely, my God, how can you afford that many things? He's a billionaire, first of all.
Well, yeah.
But he's got the top number one collection of memorabilia, guitars and shit in the world. And he bought the Eric Clapton guitar for like 1 point something. And I'm looking at that going, buy a good general manager.
Yeah.
Ballard had a good run in Kansas, but boy, he hasn't done pissle here. And it's just until they show they have the ability of taking the lead and maintaining it.
Yeah.
Who cares? Pacers are doing fine. Basketball as well. But you add all that.
No, I'm not an
See,
NBA.
I'm not either. I don't watch the NBA.
See,
To me, is the same as the NFL, and it's just politics, and I'm done with that
Yeah.
crap. I want to watch and not have that in my face.
I think, well, that's part of it. I think also part of it is you and I both coming from the St. Louis area, not having, although when were the Hawks in St. Louis? Were you around for that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember the time frame.
I was a kid. That was the ABA.
Because I know I never had.
Yeah,
I never had basketball in St. Louis.
That was pre-U. That was the ABA days with the red, white, and blue ball. Yeah,
Okay.
that goes way back.
But yeah, that's the thing. Basketball.
See, here's the other thing. Hockey.
Okay, yeah, that's not a big thing in Indy, but in St. Louis, it's huge.
First of all, I have to do this. I apologize, Luke. Hockey, really? Keep it up there, eh? We have a hockey.
Sorry,
Again, Fishers, Indiana, a hotbed of development and growth. We're building a hockey arena.
Yeah,
in like one of the biggest locations.
Making it happen, I guess.
Right? We have, I don't even know their name, the Indy, whoever hockey flames the fire, whatever it is.
I don't know.
I think they play in the micro league. They're not even in the minor leagues. They're the like
super low level.
Yeah, you got the NHL and then what?
Yeah.
And they're building this hockey arena. Why? Because they're going to be able to use it for other events. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's going to be like concerts and whatever.
Oh,
you don't build a hockey arena in a place where, 11,000 fans?
Yeah.
And that, and God love them. I know it's development and it's all wonderful. Here I am curmudgeoning. But it's like, I've never gotten into hockey. I've been to a couple of games. It's fast. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I've gone to a couple of
See,
blues.
you got the blues, though, and that's different.
I would say I've gone to a couple blues games.
Big difference.
And that is a lot of fun. I think it's more fun to watch than it in person than on TV.
Oh, without a doubt.
Some sports, that's not the case, though. I mean, arguably football. I like the football game experience, being at the game. But if you actually want to watch the game,
watch it on TV.
TV's way better to watch it. And baseball, don't get me started. Baseball is a whole nother one where, when you go to the baseball park and you do the baseball game experience in person, the game is not what you're necessarily there for.
See, what you're telling me is exactly what I think. It's fun to be in an event.
Yeah.
It's fun to be at something.
But the game is not the thing.
Who cares that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
If you want to watch the actual game, I think TV is the way to go.
Right. I agree.
However, with hockey, I think watching that on TV, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. There's going to be a couple guys that are going to fight me on this one.
Yeah, Luke.
Well,
Luke's going to hard check you against the glass.
There's a handful of people in St. Louis I know that are going to have some words about this too. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's just not my thing. Now, again, and maybe this is going back to the point of it's more fun being at an event.
Right.
When you're at, let's say, the cigar lounge and they've got the game on and multiple people sitting around and you're all yakking and watching, and when something happens, everybody's cheering. That's fun.
But it's not fun at home watching it by yourself.
Not really. No.
You got to be it's the
like my neighbor. He'll do that. I'll hear him through his patio door. He'll be sitting there just by himself with his dog watching sports all night long. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's not my thing.
You know how pathetically sad that sounds, though?
He loves it, but it's not my thing.
And I guarantee you, the dog doesn't bring a lot to the conversation.
No.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, Sam,
dog wants to fetch the ball.
Sam's pretty quiet, yeah.
Dog goes, there's the ball.
Yeah. But no, it's
what you grow up with.
And that's the thing. It's all preference.
Well, you see, here's the other one.
And all that.
It's baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball. That was everything when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember growing up, and your grandfather would sit with the ball game on.
Yeah.
We didn't watch it on TV. It wasn't broadcast on TV at the time necessarily, but the radio. He would listen to Jack Buck on the radio.
Yep.
And that was big stuff. I would sit with him, and we would just listen to the ball. Well, that was, Lou Brock and Bob Gibson. I remember Bob Gibson pitching back then. And it's just like era of the St. Louis Cardinals in the 60s and the dominance back then. I don't care where I live. I'm always going to be a Cardinal fan. I don't know the team players as much as I used to, admittedly, but I'll be a Cardinal fan until I die. I don't have any memorabilia other than, well, I do.
Yeah.
As you know, the Stan Musial, personal autograph balls and bats. And I got to meet Stan Musial, which is probably one of the cooler things in my life, and hung out with Al Rabat, the Mad Hungarian. He and I were golfing buddies for a few years there. And, so, I rubbed elbows with some of the big dogs. And it mattered to me because I grew up with some of those names, Red Shanedeist and, those guys. But baseball, unfortunately, is starting to go the wayside. They're starting to make changes to make it more exciting and play faster. And it's like you're ruining the concept of the game. Don't make it something just to accommodate our short attention span.
Well, and that's exactly it with pitch clocks and everything else.
Right.
But, yeah.
Making the bases bigger, whatever the bullshit is they did last year. Really? So I was like, no, make them littler so you have to work harder. So, but yeah, it's just.
Well, somebody once told me that golf would be more fun to watch on TV if they had live fire going at the same time, And I think that applies to some other sports. I think if you had the threat of mortars in the outfield, I think baseball could be a much more compelling.
Landmines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't know if that base is loaded.
It's like, is he gonna? Yeah, exactly. Is he gonna make it to the second base, or is the bouncing Betty gonna get him? That sort of thing.
Well,
See,
it's like now you're on to golf. Let's talk golf. Yeah, live golf.
Is that the competitive league thing or whatever?
It's the one that's backed by Saudi Arabia and Greg Norman, and you play a round of golf. 54 holes, not 72, and they win like $4 million. Want to ruin a game? Have rock and roll playing in the background and beer everywhere, and I'm surprised they don't have mortars. It's just. It's like the gentleman's game of...
My smoke is
going right at you. It's like the gentleman's game of golf.
They've got a really nice ventilator right there, but
sucking it my way.
Sucking it right there. So, anyway.
But even that's being ruined just because of viewership. I think Topgolf has ruined golf.
Really?
Let's go to that one.
Okay, yeah.
As somebody who lives on a golf course,
as
somebody who's always finding golf balls in his yard, as somebody who's found golf balls over his house in his front yard.
You even stopped counting this year. Normally you counted.
I don't even count anymore.
I was say every year prior to now.
What you have are all these people going to Topgolf to have a little bit of drink and fun, and they just whack the shit out of the ball. Mm. Well, just because you can hit a ball hard and far doesn't mean it goes straight. So you've got these people who go, I know how to play golf.
It's the Happy Gilmore syndrome.
Right?
Yeah.
I know how to play golf. I go to Topgolf. No, you don't. You have no idea about golf management. How when sometimes on a par 5, you want to tee off with a 5-iron, not a driver. You're not going to get there in 2 because you're not Tiger Woods. And that's what's annoying is they see these guys on TV and they're hitting 325-yard drives. Well, I can hit a 325. Yeah, but can you hit a fairway? The answer is no.
Yeah.
And you can't putt worth shit, and you can't get out of a bunker. And it's ruined that game, too, because it's become they're trying to entice people in, but they're not training them to play the game well. And it's only good when you're playing well.
Okay. There's
another unpopular opinion. So all you Topgolf guys who think you want to go play golf, go take lessons before you get on a real course. Because I promise you, people who have played golf for a long, long time.
They're annoyed with you.
I started playing when I was, 17?
Okay.
So going on, 50 years now? I've been playing golf 50 years.
I was going to let that just go.
Shit. But,
I was going to let that go.
But that's the thing, is if you don't take pride in how well you play, don't play.
Yeah.
And so,
well, you were talking, I don't know if we want to get into this because I don't know how many of your neighbors might listen. But you were saying,
none.
Okay, well then you were saying that you like to play golf with people that are better than you because you have to raise your game to a higher level.
And I hate to do this to Ken again, but I'm going to go back.
Oh, God.
Because
Ken does listen.
I know he does. Oh, he is so going to hate me. No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. This is a nice story. When I was doing that event,
yeah,
and Ken was at Chateau Elan, the pro there was Jeff Sarrazin. Gene Sarrazin, the Squire, who won the Masters years ago. He's legendary.
I would say I've heard that
the
name.
Shot
That
heard,
name
the shot heard around the world.
Yeah.
Gene Sarrazin. Jeff is his grandson.
Okay.
Jeff Sarrazin at the time missed the Nike Tour by one stroke, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff Sarrazin was a hell of a golfer, and I was fortunate enough. Ken and I were fortunate enough to play with Jeff a couple of times. Actually, beautiful golf courses there.
Yeah.
And to stand there and watch him hit a golf ball was different. You know, we were hitting the same damn ball, and he's hitting a 5-iron like I am. I don't know how he did it. I have no idea how this guy can do that. And there's a major difference between good and bad golfers, because when you play with somebody like Jeff Sarrazin did, and like some of the other guys that I was blessed to play with when we lived in Florida, you have to elevate your game, because you watch them and you learn, and you play to mirror what they're doing the best you can. So your game does this. And for a while, when we lived down in Weston Hills, you played those courses.
Yeah.
That one course was the Honda Classic. They played there for a few years.
Oh, wow.
So the PGA Tour actually played where you played, all right?
Okay.
And
I'm not good, for the record. I'm not good.
And that's the time when I was playing.
But I also don't put in the effort and time.
I was playing 2 or 3 times a week. I was hitting the driving range. We lived in the community.
Yeah.
And I got down to about a 7 handicap. All right. In the scheme of life, that's better than most, but not as good as I wanted to be.
Okay.
All right. And I hadn't played now. You have frozen shoulder, and then the neck, that got better, and then my left shoulder went out on me for a few years. So for a period of about 10 or 15 years, and when you're busy with business, you don't play as much, and I'm trying to get companies up and going, and I'm launching new products, and I'm traveling and all that, and I hadn't played, for a number of years. Well, some of it is still memory, all right, and when you can get out and your game is at a certain level, and you don't play for a while, you don't completely go to shit. You go to hell, but you don't completely go to shit, and your game is still probably better than a lot of the others.
Okay.
Well, I've got neighbors. The neighborhood.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys are.
I know your neighbor.
yeah, right. And fortunately, I'm not the oldest in the neighborhood yet. They're dying off, but I'm not there yet. And I've noticed in the last year. I'll have to get out sometime. Nobody ever does. Nobody ever calls me. And it's like, I'm not going to call and pester them.
Yeah.
It's like, let me join their outing kind of a thing. We were at a party, as I was telling you. We were at a birthday party a while back, and somebody was, we'll have to play sometime. And this other person, last time I played with Jimmy, goes, I haven't played in a year. And he comes out and shoots an 83. And I got thinking about that. And I thought, son of a bitch. That's why he hasn't wanted to play with me for a year and a half.
Because you kicked his ass.
And I'm thinking, to hell with it then.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I'll go play by myself. I love a 9-hole round. I'll play 18 by, 2 cigars front and back.
There you go.
And it's like, and it's sad, but I like playing with people who are better than me, because they force you to try to do better. Mm-hmm. If you want to suck, go play with anybody, I guess. So yeah, that's that.
Okay. All right, then. Well, speaking of your neighbors,
Oh, God.
I have to ask, does your HOA not have a rule about jack-o'-lantern lights being out after Halloween? You can plead the fifth if you'd like, but I noticed it, and
the lamppost,
fairness,
lamppost with a big
yes
jack-o'-lantern.
In all fairness,
plastic things.
There are 2 There are two. It's
I
not
know
just,
they copied each other.
It's not just the one house. There's
and I'm
another
really
house.
disappointed with the guy across the corner because he owns a 2017 Corvette Grand Sport. You would think he would have better taste than to do that, but he
would.
doesn't. Yeah,
but they both have
so
it.
as a Corvette owner, I'm disappointed in him.
But the one next door to you also has all the
turn
other shit.
And what's interesting is I get a letter from the HOA that my tree is impeding pedestrians on the sidewalk. Please trim it.
There was that one, and you also got that letter about how your tree was too small.
So we had a tree. It was a red bud. When we bought the house, there were trees everywhere. And we've lost a few, because of something or other killing blue spruces. And every tree ever removes like $500 to $750 after now. So we had a tree that died along that little stretch of grass between the sidewalk and the road.
Yeah.
Well, the HOA rule says you have to have a tree there. So I put a tree there. We bought a locust tree.
Yeah.
Put it in there. I get a letter that says your tree is not the proper diameter. It needs to
Meaning
be...
the trunk is too...
Right.
Yeah,
It needs to be 2 inches. And mine wasn't, apparently. So I get a letter that my tree is not... So I...
And trees aren't cheap.
That was $750
Okay.
to have that... To have like a 7-foot, 8-foot locust tree installed. All right? Either I replace that tree or they will replace it and bill me for it.
Yeah.
So I called the guy and I said, well, my tree's not big enough. He goes, no, the diameter is only about 1.5 inches. To it, my reply is, and you measured it?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's just smaller. We know that. I said, well, here's what you can do. You can either come out and stroke it and make it bigger.
Give it a little bit.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I said, or you can give it a
tree
year,
fluffer out of here.
or you can give it a year, and let's see how big he gets.
Yeah.
I never heard back from him again. So now I've got this locust tree that's like 5 or 6 years old, and this friggin' thing is, 20, 30 feet tall, and branches are everywhere, and I like locust trees because when they shed their leaves, they're little and they blow away. You don't have to rake them.
There you go.
So now I'm getting letters that my tree is impeding the sidewalk. So we wrote back that said, what about all the other trees on the main boulevard that you're responsible for that need trimming as well?
Mm-hmm.
So we trimmed it, and Janet actually emailed the guy and said, it's trimmed sufficiently now that Bigfoot can walk under it and not have to duck. And we got a very nice, polite email back, said thank you. A lot of people don't follow up. So I'm still getting poked at for my poor little schmuck tree in the front yard.
Yeah.
Right?
Meanwhile,
it looks like the backyard or the back parking lot of a Walmart garden center next door.
yes.
They've got gargoyles. It's like they've got the tombstone.
They got the tombstone.
They've got red and green and purple and blue lights shining up trees year round. They've got
windmills and shit.
Yeah, socks, I guess all that's allowed, even though in the HOA regulations it says no statues. And you're only allowed to have Christmas lights up from December 1st to January 15th. And regardless. So either they're getting letters and they've got a hell of an attorney.
Ignoring him.
Or they're not.
Oh, that's true.
Or they're not getting letters. I don't know. But I've had neighbors tease me about even I have a neighbor right now. He's sitting out in the other room. So
yeah.
Kevin. He's in, and he goes, how's your neighbors doing? I even get crap from my neighbors about living next to these people.
Well, yeah, because they are the most colorful house in the neighborhood.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I mean, with the random lights and and yes, I want to take a brief second. You mentioned a tombstone. It legitimately is
a tombstone.
Sure,
I mean, looks like it to me.
It's like it's a what? Celtic cross?
That's what she told me. She goes, it's not a tombstone. It's a Celtic cross. To which my reply was, I didn't know the Celtic population in Wheeling, West Virginia was so dense that you would have brought it with you here.
It's a damn tombstone.
It is.
It's funny.
And I'll probably be buried under it.
It's funny.
I know. So, yeah. HOAs. You want to gripe about something? Let's talk about it. HOAs can take your damn house. They can put a lien on your house. If HOAs have regulations that will override
law,
the city.
Mm-hmm.
And really, these are people who have an inferiority complex who want to be bosses, and they run for the HOA board, and they become president of the HOA. And it's like, who the hell are you that you can tell me what color my front door can be. And let me step back. HOAs have value because it keeps some imagery of the neighborhood clean.
Well, yeah.
You know, so I'm not living next to some, whatever. But damn it.
It's when they go too far. Yeah.
When we lived in Florida, we had a row of trees, bushes in back of the house, separating the backs of the house of my backyard, their backyard.
So like a fence.
Well,
but a natural fence.
It was bushes.
Yeah.
But we got a letter that said you need to trim your bushes.
Huh.
To which we were back, it's not my bush. It was on the neighbor's property. Mm-hmm. And we got another letter that said either trim or you get a $5,000 fine. I'll have them removed for $1,000 then.
I was going to say.
But it took us, 3 months to convince them, come out, look at the survey line. It's not my bush.
It's not my bush.
Sue the guy behind me, not me.
Yeah.
So HOAs have this tendency of just randomly shooting at people.
Yeah.
And I've seen the guy. He drives around in his car. He's got this emblem on the side, like,
Oh, he's got an official vehicle.
Barney Fife. And he sits in front of houses, and he's got his notes, and he writes. And he was in the front of the house one time, and I looked out, and I said, I walked out in the front yard, and I stared at him. And he just drove on. It's like... So, yeah.
So what I'm hearing...
So yeah, I look forward to the decoration, because it's right around at the end of every holiday, they put up the next holiday's decorations.
Yeah.
So come Friday morning, that pumpkin head, he'll come down and a snowman head will go up, and all the turkey stuff and all that, that'll all go away.
It'll be Christmas.
Well, you remember when you were up here last time, they had skeletons and all kinds of spooky shit in the front yard. That's all gone now. You got turkey stuff, so that'll all be Christmassy stuff.
I just can't imagine the amount of storage they must need for all these decorations.
They have 1 or 2 off-site storage lockers of shit.
Do they really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. And they're constantly moving boxes. Amazon, she must be getting Christmas cards from Jeff Bezos. Amazon delivers there, like clockwork 3 times a day.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Neighbors.
So speaking of your HOA, before we stop with the HOA,
are you really just...
Are you running for the HOA? You should
run. You poking it?
Should run for the HOA.
Okay, so years ago.
I didn't know there was a story attached to this. You should run for the HOA.
Years ago, when we first moved to Indy, you remember the house we had?
Yeah.
It was at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And the house that was in front of us, they put lights along their driveway.
Okay.
Like decorative lights.
Yeah.
All right. I could do shadow puppets in my front, all the rooms. I could do shadow puppets based on their lights, right?
Uh-huh.
So I thought, HOA meeting, they invite people to come. So I went.
Yeah.
What I learned that night is they don't give a crap what I have to say, because I raised my hand. I said, I want to talk about the landing strip lights that I've got installed in front of my house and what we can do to prevent that.
Nobody cared.
I was told afterwards that they would respect me if I didn't come back. They literally said they would prefer that I not attend another meeting.
Really?
And I learned flat out right then and there. HOA likes happy horse shit, like swim clubs for the kids and this and that. They don't want to have to deal with real issues.
But yet they're going out and fining people and sending letters and that kind of crap.
And
so they're doing that all under the table, but then at the meetings, they're having their little pie and cookie socials. Okay.
HOAs.
No, so the other thing that you brought up that triggered something in my mind is as I was coming here, I stopped for gas just on the east side of Effingham. And I stopped at a Quick Trip. And I pull up and there's a van at the pump next to mine. And I thought it was one of those prisoner transport vans. It had the logo on it and shit. But it wasn't. I looked closer at it. This was a United States federal fugitive retrieval van.
Nice.
These guys were like the federal government bounty hunters going out to retrieve fugitives and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking oh man, this is something a little bit more higher class. There's the guy in the passenger seat, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Well, as I'm going into the Quick Trip to use the restroom and get a water, this guy's coming out, and I've never seen a meaner looking human being. This guy, he looked like Michael Chiklis from The Shield. He was short, stocky, and built. I mean, just built, right? Bald. So you got the Oakley sunglasses on and everything. He had the look. But he had so much tactical shit. He had like a freaking utility belt.
Good for him.
And then the shit like on his like thigh utility belt. He had so many things hanging off the freaking giant gun and then the canister of this and that and whatever. And I'm like, holy shit. And he was walking with a purpose back to that van. So somebody out there, if you're a fugitive from the United States government and you happen to listen to this, you don't want this guy coming after you. But but he had the logo on his van, and that's what.
Good for him.
I don't know why that triggered that, but it was awesome.
Probably a cooler logo than the HOA guy does, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, well, why don't we? Well, okay, before we get into that.
I'm enjoying this, actually.
I'm digging it.
This is my read on it.
Okay.
It's a Maduro. It's a very dark appearing cigar. Mm-hmm. And it has an oily look to it. And walk by, you would look at this and go, that cigar is going to knock me on my ass. And it's surprisingly kind of medium-ish.
Yeah.
At most.
There's definitely some
there you go.
Peppery spice to the retro hail.
It's burning even.
Yeah.
It's got a nice burn line to it. This is another one I'd do again. I'm enjoying this thing.
I am too.
It's got just a little flavor that I can't denote what exactly it is. I don't find it unpleasant. It's a cigar that would scare you, but surprise you that it's not the way it looks.
Yeah, I
that makes
expected
sense.
a much heavier smoke to it. It's, I'd say, a nice medium body. You know,
nice retro.
Yeah. It's like it's nothing that. Yeah, it's not bad at all. I'm really digging it.
Yeah.
I know that the
You're going fast too, though.
Well, I've been talking less.
Yeah.
Than
Well,
you. You know, you're the guest, so I've been.
Oh, is that it?
I've been letting you speak. Yeah,
I've got
exactly.
years of shit to say.
So
Anyway, no, I'm
no,
enjoying this.
But I'm digging this cigar.
Rod did well for us.
He did. So
all
right. Let's do this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. I keep trying to remember to blow up.
That's all right.
But
is what it is.
I didn't know that when I selected the seat. I swear.
I'm sure.
I swear I didn't.
Yeah, you have a birthday coming up, don't you?
I do.
Enjoy it.
Anyway.
All right, Villiger.
Anyway, yeah, it's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report. I don't know. Have you been...
You want me to take this? I'm going to tie it to what you just talked about.
Okay.
No, you're going to look at the guy.
This will be interesting.
Damn, that guy's brilliant. How do you do that?
I don't know.
Last night, you sat and you watched a TV show with us for a while.
I did.
Huh?
I did.
It's on, I believe the network is Reels, Reelz. It's the #1 show on Reels.
Okay.
And it's the show that's keeping Reels on the air.
Okay.
It's hosted by Dan Abrams, who's the legal whatever it is on ABC. And it's called OP Live, On Patrol Live.
Mm-hmm. Basically cops.
Basically. They embed cameramen with police in like 9 communities around the country.
It's like if you took Cops in Red Zone, the Red Zone channel, where they bounce around to different games when shit's about to happen.
Something's going on. Let's go to Toledo.
So it's like in this case, they're different departments, and they're like, okay, let's move over to Daytona or let's whatever.
So they go Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Toledo, someplace in North Carolina, some couple of places South Carolina, Daytona Beach. The county outside it, and then someplace in California. Anyway, we watch that, and it's on every Friday and Saturday, and it's semi-live. You cannot convince me they don't have a bit
some
of
sort of delay.
They have to, because there are instances where cops get shot. And they'll go somewhere, and they'll say, okay, we're going to cut away from this because this looks like a bad episode. Something's going on. So they'll go, from Toledo. We're going to cut away from Toledo. We're going to go back to, Haven, Arkansas. And you watch that show, and my God, you couldn't arm police enough to put up with the shit that they put up with. And I know some of your listeners are going, oh, here we go. Yeah, here I go. There are people out there who do stupid things.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. You make a mistake. I'll give you that. All right. I think the whole thing, there are different levels of bad. You just did something stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to have a new place to put them. We need to put them in timeout. All right.
Okay.
Let's build facilities called timeout houses.
So not quite jails.
You did some stupid shit. We're going to put you in the timeout house.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there for 3 or 6 months, and you're going to think about it. And then if you did something that's criminally intended, and you did it maliciously and whatever, you go to jail. Then if you do something that's just really bad, evil, you go to prison.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
If you do something evil and it's irrefutable proof, if we have you on video killing somebody,
Yeah.
you're done. There's no
okay.
There's no room on this planet for evil.
I may have said that. I know I said this on the show because I know I talked about it with.
I'll give you an example in a minute. But go
what
ahead.
was it? It was something with. I don't remember what it. Oh, it was the Jared documentary when I was watching that. Anybody who does anything with kids, if it's proven,
Kill them.
You kill them. You just
it's all
take them out.
If there's one message to give everybody right now, it's all about the kids. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Give them a chance. It's all about the kids. Protect them, take care of them, nurture them, educate them, and give them the best shot they have at life. All right. So if you've got somebody who is just without question evil, I give you 90 days to get out of it. I give you 90 days to prove, absolute proof, that you didn't do it. Otherwise, sometime in that 91 to 100 days, we're going to take you out.
We're going to take you out.
You can be walking through the yard of prison and done.
Oh, see, I don't even want that.
No, we want to surprise you like you surprised your victim.
See, I don't want the surprise.
No.
I want him to know it's coming.
Well, that's you're better than I am. Then.
No.
But
I want him to know it's coming.
I'll give you an example. I'm going to tie this back to OP Live.
Okay.
Nothing annoys me worse, and I'm going to have a challenge for your listeners.
Oh, boy.
Nothing annoys me worse than when a cop pulls somebody over for a traffic infraction, and he walks up to the car, and that guy takes off.
Oh, yeah.
And here
there
you
was
are.
one that we just watched it last
every
night.
week.
Yeah.
Week I'm watching this show, and every week there's 5 or 6 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you dumb son of a bitch. You went from a speeding ticket or something, and now you're...
That guy didn't have his headlights on. The one we watched last night,
and
he
now
was driving with his headlights on. He was going to get a warning for that, and now he's got this.
So here's the thing.
Now, granted, he probably had something in the car that probably...
They always do.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. High-speed chases shouldn't happen because you're putting everybody in danger, all right? The way the cops stop them a lot of times is with stop sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know, they didn't use them last night. And there's 2 ways they do them. They either take, and these are things that fold up, and they got little punctured little needles.
Yeah.
And they unfold them and they lay them across the road. And there's a rope, a cord, and the car rolls over it, and it's a slow puncture of the tires, so the tires slowly go flat, and the car can't be controlled.
Yeah.
Cops catch them. They either do it one of 2 ways. They throw them across, they string them, or they lay them out there, and the cop stands on the shoulder, and he pulls the cord. When that car comes, he pulls it in front. Okay. Today, here in Indianapolis, there is a walking pile of feces going to court because he and his buddy stole a car in Sikeston, Missouri months ago, came up I-70, up 57, up I-70 into Indianapolis, and out by the airport, the police, the state troopers, were doing a high-speed chase.
Okay.
There was a young patrol, a young state trooper, 30-ish, was standing on the shoulder about to deploy the stop sticks, and that crap driver turned and hit him on purpose and killed this young man. All right?
Yeah.
We have proof. We have proof because cops were chasing him and it's on their dash cams.
Yeah.
And those traffic cameras they show it. We're watching news and they stop it right before the young man gets hit and killed. But you have absolutely no doubt. He did it. He did it on purpose. He swerved and he hit that trooper on purpose, and he crashed right afterwards, and they captured him. Tell me why he even has to go to court. Okay, that's my first question. The answer is
I
obvious.
mean, I know. Logically, I have the answer. You know the answer.
He should be taken out of the planet. There's no room on this planet for somebody like him.
Yeah.
But here's my other challenge for everybody.
Yeah.
Every time I see this stuff, every time I see a cop out there, and there was an episode on OP Live about 3 weeks ago, same thing happened. This cop threw stop sticks, and the son of a bitch turned, and he hit the cop, ran over him, and the cop's in the hospital with multiple injuries. Well, he's not, broken back and everything else. You know that. You have a car roll on you, it's going to leave a bruise. It's going to leave a bruise. There has to be a better way to stop cars. I know if you have OnStar, they can turn the car off in a car. But most cars don't, all right? Yeah. There has to be some method, and I'm not a genius. I'm not an engineer. There ought to be some way, instead of putting the cop's life in jeopardy and putting these stupid sticks out there and at jeopardy of getting hit and killed, as we're seeing, as we have a trial going on today, they ought to be able to zap it with some sort of electromagnetic charge that, fries the car's engine. I don't care what it is. There's got to be a way to stop a car to protect others, because they hit other people too.
So OnStar, is that its own
company?
Or?
That's General Motors only.
Okay, so that's owned by General Motors.
I don't know if they're owned, but they have this
exclusive
contract with General Motors vehicles. Well, and it costs so much a month to have it. But
even if you don't pay that as the owner of the vehicle, they still have access. Like if the cops want to shut down your vehicle or something like.
I believe you may be correct. I don't know that.
I think OnStar still has a link to your vehicle.
But how fast can they act? If there's a high-speed chase going on right now, boom, boom, how fast? I don't know.
But see, okay, but then that leads me to my question, which is, why can't we have, if the United States government, and I'm not in favor of a whole bunch of over-regulation and legislation, but if the United States government can force car manufacturers to install seatbelts for every seat,
right?
So many, airbags, hell, regulate the weight of the vehicles, and that's why we got so much fucking plastic and shit in our vehicles and everything now.
So now we're putting thousands of pounds of batteries in the bottoms of the cars, and are weighing more than that's another topic.
Anyway, so okay, if they can regulate all that, why can't they say, okay, there needs to be an OnStar for everybody? Not necessarily OnStar, but an OnStar-like type thing.
You want me to know? Want me to answer how come? Why not?
And it would regulate everybody, and then that way the cops would have access to every vehicle.
Now that's Big Brother. You can't go do that, because everybody would sue and say, "Oh no, you can't do that. Can't Big Brother us." And it would take the cost of the car up.
Well, everything's taking the cost of the car
the more
up these days.
And the more it costs to manufacture a car, that's the less money you can pay the UAW workers, who now screwed all of the consumers because they're getting more money, and they went on strike and they got 25% more income over 4 years. And you know where that's going to be passed on to?
The price of the car.
Consumers. We're going to be paying for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you stop it? But the point I'm getting at is, if there are any brilliant engineers in your listening audience, which there's got to be one.
You would think.
I mean, I'm familiar with some of your audience listeners, and
I would say some of my audience listeners,
I'm not going to rely on them to answer.
I question how we get out of bed, but
exactly. There has to be a better method of stopping a vehicle in a high-speed chase than stop sticks, because people are dying.
Yeah.
That was one of the ugliest videos I ever saw, and this is a young man here who's no longer around. He was I think he just got married or just got engaged.
Yeah.
It's like, and you look at the guy that killed him, and he's just dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
So to your point about that van, with the federal whatever on it, what did that guy do, and why is he still here? That's what I want to know.
That's a valid question.
We need to equip our cops like they do in Europe. You walk through the airport in Germany, I'm telling you, you don't fuck with anything. You don't even look like you want to plan.
Yeah,
because those cops are walking around in military garb, carrying a rifle, and this rifle can take you. And people do things for basically two reasons: enjoyment and fear. All right.
Yeah.
You drive fast because it's fun, but you slow down because you don't want to get caught.
Yeah.
All right. I don't understand why somebody would want to kill somebody, especially like that. You're not going to get away. Give me a break.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, you've just turned a multi-state car theft into now a straight up, first-degree murder charge.
Correct. And you know who's going to be paying his room and board forever?
Yeah, the people of Indiana, because it happened in Indiana. Yeah.
I have a problem with that. we're chasing budgets in Washington, D.C. Well, let's just cut out the crap.
Yeah.
Let's stop housing people who don't belong.
No.
There's an island someplace. I know you want to own an island.
I do.
There's an island someplace out in the middle of Nowhereville.
Yeah.
If you go to Africa and you kind of hang southeast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like way down there, not quite Australia and North. Put him there.
Well, see, that's how we got Australia in the first place.
Good luck. No, I'm not even talking amenities. I'm not talking infrastructure,
I'm just
utilities.
saying.
Just put them on the island.
Well, Australia was what? The British penal colony.
Correct.
Yeah.
You see how that worked out.
Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah.
We got
but that's back to the Villiger. That's what I've been watching, and we record it and we watch it again. It's sadly it's entertaining. You see the drunks and are doing stupid shit.
It was entertaining. I mean, there was the guy that had the goat in his backseat.
It's like a train wreck. You got to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's the #1 show on Reels. But you got to look at stuff like that and you take the lesson from it and you're going, what did we learn here? And the answer is you got a lot of people driving without driver's licenses. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of people doing stupid stuff who feel indignant. You have a lot of people who think they know the law better than the cops because they jump out saying, you can't arrest me. You can't do this to me. Yeah. I don't need to give you my name.
I'm recording this, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Holding their phones, recording the cop. And it's like, I don't need to give you my, yeah, you do need to give them a name.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, who the hell do you think you are in the scheme of everything? Because all of us, everybody, listeners included, all we are dingleberries on the ass of a planet in the universe. When you're gone, you're gone. You're no more important than the next guy. I'm sorry to say.
That's all right.
Neither am I. And it's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
And we need to get back to that where it's like, no, don't give me a 15-second TikTok thing. You're an idiot. Get out.
Yeah.
And there's our problem, and this show emphasizes that on a weekly basis. So if anybody has Reels TV, watch it next week and call the Ask the Boys thing and give an opinion on what you think on how we can stop high-speed chases and where do you think we ought to put stupid people who made a simple mistake, and people there's irrefutable proof. There's a woman the other day, she shot her kids. It's
on the show?
No. Okay, this is a news story someplace else in the country. I read that.
Seems pretty intense for that show.
I think it was like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. She shot and killed her children. Why is she still upright?
Yep. No. Exactly. No. That's exactly it.
So, yeah, we shouldn't be spending money on vans, driving them around. They should be put someplace and it's like, there you are.
That's it.
Done with you.
Okay.
There's your Villiger report. OP Live.
OP Live.
And other than that, I watch way too much news and Formula One.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, okay. So there was the Las Vegas race.
I'm down to Formula One now because IndyCar season's over and IMSA's wrapped up, and now I'm forced to watch Max Verstappen win everything and complain. They're cheating, but we haven't figured out how. I love that. I love that line. So yeah, the race in Vegas.
Race in Vegas.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. Or seemingly.
Ferrari got a $2 million damage to their vehicle because somebody didn't glue the plate down, the water cover in the strip. So yeah, I love that.
I'll be curious to see what, and I'm sure they'll have all the fencing and the whatever taken down by the time I get out there for TPE in January. But, I would think there'd be some sort of like remnant that you'll be able to notice.
The only thing you will see is where they built the grandstands in the pits.
Well, that's probably not even going to go over that direct.
That's a structure they built. Yeah. All of the everything else.
Well, the strip will look a lot nicer, I would imagine.
One half of it. They asphalted one half of the strip, from what I read. So yeah, it'll be a little different, but yeah. So that's what, January.
Mm-hmm.
January when?
January. I feel like I go out there the 30th.
Oh, toward the end. All right.
And come back that first weekend, first Saturday of September.
Okay, so you're going out there when I get back from Florida, because I'm in Florida. I think the 26th through the 29th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. So
passing that way.
All right.
But yep. So no, that's when TP is. And in terms of me and the Villiger report, I haven't watched anything because I had my son through the week and then dropped him off and then came out here, and I really haven't watched anything. However, I have been burning through a podcast that when Luke was on, he recommended it. It's called Crooked City, Youngstown, Ohio. And it's all about the history of Youngstown, Ohio, with the mob influence and everything, but then also Congressman Jim Traficant and
Right.
his influence and how his rise to power and all the trouble and whatnot he ended up getting into. And I have, I think, maybe 5 minutes left of the last episode, and it's been really, really interesting to hear how, Youngstown, Ohio has through the years dealt with just all sorts of various hardships. I mean, there used to be steel, a lot of steel plants and everything there. They had the General Motors plant there, and then those got shut down, and just it's been very interesting. I've been liking that.
That whole area of the country has gone through that.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
Rust Belt.
I've been to Youngstown. I remember being there, and I don't know all the stories as you're getting on the podcast, but it's that whole steel industry and that whole area is going through some hard.
A lot
times.
of racketeering going on there and everything. So it was really neat. And just some of the stories that are in this, but what's funny, and the reason that Luke even brought it up when he was driving to Pulpit Fest, he was listening to this in the car. Right. And in one episode, they're interviewing somebody who was involved in this, and he was at a prison in Terre Haute, and he was passing Terre Haute, Indiana, as that was taking place. So, anyway, well, then why don't we now hear about My Monthly Cigars? This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks! And guys, while you're over there at mymonthlycigars.com, make sure you check out the fucking good coffee and, consider My Monthly Cigars as a Christmas gift. Maybe you want somebody to receive a nice. It's the gift that keeps giving all year long. You get that nice box of cigars every month in the mail.
And when you register, make sure you put your phone number in there.
Yeah.
And Nick Gervais will give you a personal call and thank you for signing up.
I like that idea. I think
it's a holiday thing.
I think we may. Yeah. Saint Nick will call you and thank you for your purchase.
Saint Nick Gervais, not
exactly.
Not you, Saint Nick.
Well, not me, Saint Nick.
Yeah, he does that a lot of times, from what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have Bill Burr do it. That's what he'll do.
You know what's funny?
Oh boy, here we go.
Bill Burr could walk in right now, sit right there, and I wouldn't know who the hell he is.
I mean,
Makes
I would.
This big deal about Bill Burr. It's like I wouldn't know him no more than whoever. And it's like for Nick Gervais to be all a little girly about Bill Burr, like really?
Oh, this is so great.
You're at that point in your life where that's it.
I mean,
I know.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. The good comedians are all gone. There's nobody funny anymore.
Oh. There's
Stephen Wright he was good.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg. He died a number of years ago.
There's an Irish guy that I see things on Instagram every once in a while, and he cracks me up. And there's a little guy, Brad Williams, little guy, little guy,
Lil.
Micro. He's micro.
He's a micro comic.
He's micro. He's funny. I like his little clips. I did watch one of his specials on Amazon, and that was a lot raunchier than I expected based upon the clips that I'd seen. So that was a little different, and that was at times a little much. But
the comedians I always like, and everybody's going to go, oh, really? To me, comedy died when Robin Williams committed suicide. That guy was... A good comic to me is not somebody who memorizes jokes and stands in front of an audience and recites them.
It's somebody that can just be funny.
You put him, somebody like Dom DeLuise was obviously a different generation. You can take a good comic like Robin Williams, drop him someplace, and just stand back, and he'll play the audience. He'll ask something, and you don't know where he's going, but everything is funny. And he's a situational comic that can take anything and make it work.
Yeah.
To me, that's comedy. somebody who just has jokes and recites them, like Jerry Seinfeld. Boy, am I going to be unpopular now.
Oh, you are. This. Oh, boy.
Here's where you put a flush handle on your Villiger report. Worst show ever is Seinfeld.
Oh. This is a hot take.
Well, I don't like New York anyway. But whiny people just living their life. I found absolutely, and Janet loved it. She'd watch. Yeah. And I'd leave the room. I don't find anything funny at all about Seinfeld. Only thing I like about him is he's into classic cars.
Yeah.
He's a big Porsche guy. But not funny because it's all script.
Yeah.
I don't want script comedy. I want people who can find something about life on the spot and make fun of it. And that was Robin Williams. So when he did what he did, I understand he had physical issues.
There was a lot to that. Yeah.
Well, he had physical issues and whatnot, and God love the man. But I don't want you got recited jokes. Just give me the paper. I'll read them my own self.
Yeah.
I want a good comedic genetic comedy, and Seinfeld is just it's just a scripted crap. So there you go. Hate me forever, everybody. I don't. There's your Villiger thing. Seinfeld should never been put on the air.
Oh.
Ever.
Okay then. Well,
okay.
I mean, I don't hate it.
Yank.
I don't hate it.
Unplugged.
But in all fairness, I've said on here, I'm not the biggest Seinfeld guy.
See, there you go.
You know,
all right, so I'm not wrong.
I'm not saying I hate it, but I'm not the biggest Seinfeld
I'll go
guy.
there.
Okay. Well, in terms of the socials, I'm available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I'm also on Facebook where we have the Cigar Pulpit Parishioners Group. You guys can get in on that fun. We've had a couple of people get in on that. And actually, while you're in on that, right now we're taking nominations, I think. I think we're still in nomination time. Hang on. I should have known this beforehand, and I didn't, and that's on me. Where is that email? There it is. We're taking nominations through November 27th for the 2023 Parishioners Top 10 Cigars of the Year. So now is the time to get into the Parishioners group. You'll go there. There's a post that's pinned to the top, and it has the form. You can go in there, nominate your top cigars for 2023. No real criteria. It's not one of those things where it has to come out in 2023. It can be something that maybe is just smoking really, really good to you in 2023. Top cigars of 2023. Go there, fill that out, and we'll progress from there. The voting period will run from December 1st through December 8th, and so you'll want to be in the group so you can participate in that. And then from there, we'll be announcing those winners. And then I'm on Twitter/X, where I don't really do anything. YouTube, where you can watch this, and ask the boys. I still have that hotline issue. Some people called in, so I guess if you want to try calling in, it's area code 863-874-0000. I'm gonna figure it out, but yeah, I'll be announcing kind of the next generation of the Ask the Boys thing here soon. So anyway. And then in terms of the Grand Habano...
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
If I recall right, you had somebody call in one time and said that when you get old, you become one of two types of old guys.
Yeah.
The type who crab about everything and bitch about this and that.
Yeah.
Or that old guy who takes his clothes off and runs around family events.
Yeah. I think we know which type you've fallen into.
Good.
And I think,
I was going to say, or otherwise I have to get invited to somebody's family. Maybe
based off of the
maybe
last
I can get an invitation to one of the neighbors' family get-togethers.
Yeah, I think based off the last couple episodes I've done with Pinky, I think we know which type I'm going to fall into as well.
It's genetics, son. I'm telling you. And Pinky is not far behind you.
Oh, really?
Oh, she's got opinions on shit too.
She does.
She's fun
just
to listen to.
Nicer about it.
What a crabby little person she can be. And she disguises it with a sweet voice and trying to be nice. She's a crabby little person. She has opinions on shit. You don't want to cross her. I guarantee you that. Mm-hmm. That's funny though. I enjoy those episodes.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I think we know which way that's going to go. Well, final thoughts on the Grand Habano Corojo Maduro. Is that what this is? The Corojo?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm digging it. I liked this.
I
This
am
was
too.
a really good cigar. Like you said, construction has held up really well. My burn line is great. Yeah, you have more of it.
Yours
than
burned
I
a
do.
lot faster than mine.
Well, I smoked it more. You again.
There's a joke there, and I'm not. I'm not putting it out there.
You talked.
I've been puffing away. Just
true.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But
this is one I would.
I would buy this again.
I would go down this road again.
Yeah.
I don't know what the price was on this stupid thing either.
Well,
I mean, it was not expensive.
He didn't tell me, and he specifically didn't tell me because he said that they sell a lot. And the reason he wanted us to smoke this here at Cigar Haven in Fishers, Indiana, is because this cigar, he sells a ton of them.
I want to say like $8.95.
He sells a ton of them.
Yeah.
And he said that it smokes really, really well for the price point. And he didn't want to tell me what the price point was because he wanted me to smoke it.
I think it was. I
beforehand.
looked at the box. I think it was $8.95.
That's not bad.
You get a lot for your money with this.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been going for a little over an hour with it.
Yep.
And, it's been a nice, good, slow smoke.
Yep.
And
for some of us.
Well, if you smoke it too fast, you get runs. That's why I've kind of slowed down periodically because you get the little runs in the wrapper here. So
I thought you meant you get the runs.
Well, that could
some cigars will cause
cigars could have that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I have one last little bit of I can't believe I forgot this. I found a piece of news that I thought you would be amused by. Did you know the day after Thanksgiving is now also known as Brown Friday?
Yes.
Because it's the busiest day of the year for plumbers.
Yes.
For many plumbing companies, Brown Friday marks the busiest day of the year, averaging 50% more calls than the average Friday. Thanksgiving weekend overall averages 21% more calls for service than the average Thursday through Sunday period.
You know what the moral of that story is?
What's that?
Don't invite family over.
There you go. The company Roto-Rooter offers some advice for avoiding Thanksgiving weekend plumbing catastrophes, including keeping fats and cooking oils away from the sink, wiping grease out of pots and pans with a paper towel before washing them, and not putting potential clog-causing foods such as poultry skins, celery, fruit, and potato peels down the garbage disposal. So, there you go. Brown Friday.
Or send them outside.
It's a thing. Or send them outside. That's true.
If you look at it, there are more Roto-Rooter calls to an urban location than there are to rural locations.
Uh-huh.
Because rural people go outside, urban people go inside, and that causes Roto-Rooter to have their business.
Oh. Okay.
Anecdotal information, you can share it how you want.
There you go. Well, thanks for taking time out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you say that generously.
No, this has been fun. And hopefully everybody who requested you to come back is
Especially a guy in California who said that I should take my clothes off and run around family events, right?
There you go.
Yeah. It's like I said, folks, be careful what you ask for. It might be bad. I have more topics.
Yeah.
We will combine politics and churches next.
Oh, God.
You know the one.
I know exactly which one.
And we will talk about autonomous vehicles, and we can talk about electric cars, how that's the demise of society.
More to come. All right, guys. Well, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jim, Dad, whatever.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. And happy Thanksgiving.
Very much so. Happy Turkey Day.
And we're joined by Rod at Cigar Haven. How are you, Rod?
Doing real good today. Thanks.
Love the place.
Oh.
You have a fantastic shop.
Well, pretty fortunate. It's been here a long time, and when I took over as manager, there were just little things to be done. The core of the shop and many of the customers were already there. So
yeah. We have a great selection of cigars.
Thanks. One of our claims to fame, we've been here actually longer than most any other shops around here, which is nice, but we've also got a lot of space, so we have a lot of good sticks to choose from and a lot of comfortable lounges to hang out in.
For sure. Not only do you have a little bit of seating up in the front area, right. So I guess, if you're by yourself, you have somebody come in, you can sit and converse
sure.
and hang out and everything, but then there's a secondary lounge, like a bigger room that I assume is open to the public.
Yeah, kind of a game day lounge type.
Yeah, there were a couple guys in there working on laptops and you know that sort of thing. Yeah. And then we're back in a room. Now, what is this room?
Well, this is called Gene's Cave. Gene started the shop some years ago, and he made this one. It was originally kind of a private members thing, but we opened it back up and thought people should get used to, you know, the nicer lounge or the quieter place and have a locker if they need, you know.
Perfect. And then, you know, in terms of, you know, running a shop and things like that, what sort of complications have you run into lately? Like, you know, I know we talked briefly about online and things like that. We're on the show. We're big into promoting the brick and mortar. Right. We're all about the brick and mortar experience.
Well, because experience is the key word there. In my opinion, that's what you're really. Anybody can buy almost anything online now. But the fraternity of cigars is really the essence of the experience. The whole meet some people you don't know, talk to some buddies you already know, chat even with the guys running the shop about what's new or why this one's no longer available because this kind of tobacco isn't. You know, there's a lot to chat about.
Well, and I don't know. I've met a lot of friends at the cigar lounge because, you know, it doesn't matter if you're the street sweeper or the judge. When you come in, you're sitting around, you're having a cigar. It's that equalizer experience.
I agree. That's what I love, the eclectic nature of here's 3 retired guys and one kid that just got off a drywall truck. He's covered, but he wants to come in and get a cigar, and they start helping him immediately.
Yeah.
It's just a very inclusive. You know, many shops I've been in traveling, the inclusive nature of you're an instant fraternity member. That's just so cool.
There's always those characters. There's those different archetypes at every shop. There's the know-it-all. There's the nice guy. There's the jokester, and every shop has one. There are different people everywhere you go, but they all have one, and it's fun figuring out who's that guy and everything like that.
You're right. There's some prototypes.
Exactly. That's the word, prototype. Yeah. And so, but I also have found that when you get ingrained in a shop and you start making friends, that's where that whole thing about, I got a guy for that. That's where there's the networking opportunities that come from it.
Certainly networking and as you intimated earlier, there's plenty of people still working on laptops and things like that. But you know, these days it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people involved any longer in their local lodge halls and I'm not
the fraternity organization.
I have nothing against the Shriners and the Masons and all that stuff. There's a lot of really good history there, but there's so many people that aren't part of it anymore because the families have split up and they've gone all over the country and this seems like that instant connection type place.
Yeah,
I mean, alluding to what you were kind of saying. Yeah.
Well, we have enjoyed our time here. I mean, this is my first time coming in. I know my dad's been in a hand, you know. How long have you been coming by here?
I was coming by here before these guys.
Okay, he's been coming by a while.
Industry veteran.
There you go. And so, but he told me, he's, I've got this place. We ought to go over there. And so we came by, and it's been a really, really great experience. I got a nice supply of cigars for my drive home, so I'm set and ready. Yeah. Well, why don't you tell, how can people find out more about Cigar Haven?
Well, Cigar Haven, located in Fishers, Indiana, which is the north side of town. It's kind of a fast-growing side of town, so there's a lot of people moving in, and you can find us just a little bit south of 116th and Allisonville Road.
There you go. And then you have a website?
Yes, we do. IndieCigarHaven.com is a website, but we're also on Facebook, and you can see my big mug on there.
There you go. So. Well, Rod, thank you so much for taking time out.
I'm really glad you guys came in.
This has been great.
Been great.
So if you're in the Indiana area, check it out.
Thanks.